In the heart of West Africa, in the lush and fertile lands of ancient Benin, lay the village of Igbuebuen. It was a place of peace and prosperity, known for its rich culture, vibrant markets, and skilled artisans. The people of Igbuebuen lived in harmony with nature and each other, guided by the wisdom of their ancestors. But this peace was shattered when a new king ascended the throne, Oduduwa, a man whose heart was as dark as the deepest night. King Oduduwa was not born to be wicked. In his youth, he was a kind and just prince, loved by all. But power has a way of corrupting even the purest of souls. When his father, the great King Ero, passed away, Oduduwa took the throne. At first, the people rejoiced, believing that the new king would lead them to even greater heights. However, as the crown settled on his head, something within Oduduwa changed. He became obsessed with power and control, seeking to dominate every aspect of his people's lives. The once thriving village of Igbuebuen soon fell under a dark cloud of fear. Oduduwa's decrees were harsh and unforgiving. He imposed heavy taxes on the villagers, demanding tribute far beyond their means. Those who could not pay were dragged before him and made examples of, their properties seized, and their families thrown into the streets. His royal guards, once protectors of the people, became his enforcers, spreading terror wherever they went. The markets that once buzzed with activity grew silent, as traders feared the king's wrath. But Oduduwa's cruelty did not end with his greed. He was a man who delighted in the suffering of others. He would often hold grand feasts in his palace, inviting only the wealthiest and most loyal of his subjects. These gatherings were spectacles of excess, where food and drink flowed in abundance while the common people starved outside the palace gates. To entertain himself, Oduduwa would order his guards to bring in prisoners, those accused of crimes, whether real or imagined. He would then force them to fight to the death for his amusement, laughing as they bled and begged for mercy. Among the villagers, whispers of rebellion began to spread. The people could no longer endure the tyranny of their king. A group of brave men and women, led by a wise elder named Ekene, secretly gathered to plot their uprising. They knew they could not defeat Oduduwa by force, for his guards were too strong and too loyal. Instead, they devised a plan to expose the king's wickedness to the gods themselves, believing that divine justice would be the only way to rid their land of his evil. One fateful night, under the cover of darkness, Ekene and his followers made their way to the sacred grove where the spirits of their ancestors were said to dwell. They carried with them offerings and prayers, pleading with the gods to intervene. As they chanted and prayed, a great storm began to brew, with lightning flashing across the sky. The villagers took this as a sign that their prayers had been heard. The next morning, the storm broke over the palace, and Oduduwa, who had been feasting late into the night, awoke to find his throne room flooded and his treasures washed away. Terrified by the wrath of the gods, Oduduwa sought to make amends, but it was too late. The villagers, emboldened by the storm and the signs of the gods' displeasure, rose up in unison. They stormed the palace, overcoming the guards who had once oppressed them. In the end, it was not the gods who brought down the wicked king, but the people he had tormented. Oduduwa was captured and brought before the elders, where he was stripped of his crown and exiled from Igbuebuen. As he was led away, the once great king realized too late that the true power had always belonged to the people, and that his wickedness had been his own undoing. Peace returned to Igbuebuen, and the village began to heal from the scars of Oduduwa's reign. Under the guidance of Ekene and the elders, a new leader was chosen, one who ruled with justice and compassion, as a true servant of the people. And so, the story of the wicked King Oduduwa became a cautionary tale, passed down through generations, reminding all who heard it that no ruler, no matter how powerful, could escape the judgment of those they were meant to serve.